Oh no! I'm just going by what it says here. This is when he's giving out the tribe, the different tribes, their inheritance in the land. That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
I ain't have no shit. I ain't.
Most High in Christ. All right,
I'm just trying to remember that brother's name.
Most High in Christ.
He's the head priest.
All right, clap it up. Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying? Shalom. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shemal Shah Barakatah. To the brothers, Yahweh Shemal Shah to the sisters. It's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We out here in Durham, North Carolina. It's the Wednesday night law class. Priest Officer 50,1 holding it down. You know what I'm saying? For Officer Mahayar today. You know what I'm saying? The brother did me a great solid and held me down for the Monday class and did a Tawab job, as you already know. Knew he would. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm returning the favor here today. You know what I'm saying? Holding this class down for him. But Salakia, good night, Mishima. My joint looking Tawab and everything. Smooth. Upside. There we go. But yeah, so we're here. Wednesday law class, man. If you got any questions, let me say it real fast, Salakia. Like I said, I.S.U.P.K, out of the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite organization or entity or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? The I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. If it's not of the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yohana, it's not of the truth. You understand? Let me make that very clear. Because I've been seeing all kinds of craziness on the internet, man. It's really wild out there. But does anybody have any questions or comments on anything that they've seen, any stories, anything they want to bring out? Brother, what you got?
I saw that Officer Captain Tazaria, he posted this dude, and he said that like this guy, he got this picture, and he's an Israelite, and he got the logo of the I.S.U.P.K.
I know exactly. Shalom, go ahead.
And he said that nigga is not. That nigga is not
in the school,
but he's using the logo.
Right, of course, because as you know, like we said before, the I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. You understand? So it doesn't surprise me that somebody's going to take our logo and throw it behind them, and it's a if I'm not mistaken, it's a photograph. I think I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen the dude. It's a photograph. So that means that this brother took the time to Photoshop himself in front of a UPK logo and use it as his, you know what I'm saying, as his profile.
And even his name, I can't remember his name. Even his name, if you just read his name, you know that nigga's not UPK.
Right. I believe, I know the cat you're talking about. I seen something in his thing. It said Yah or something.
Yeah.
Some Flintstone, something, Yah, something,
yeah,
yabba do. Exactly. I don't know, whatever the hell it was. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, that's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I seen a fake Israelite. I seen some post or there's some group on, now, you know, I remember when the fake Israelites started saying all kinds of fake names and, you know what I'm saying? They tried to say, oh, the name of the Father is Ahia and Yahuwah and all this, you know what I'm saying? Yeshiva, all this garbage, right? And now there's a new breed. They came out and they got a whole new name. I think it's like Yahoo or something.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Something like that, right?
I saw it, man.
There's all kinds of heresies.
Like, I was trying to say, how did they get that shit?
Right.
Like, I'm looking at the Lashawan Kadash and I'm saying, like, how the fuck did they come up with that?
I don't know, brother. Beats me. You know what I'm saying? But there's always going to be some garbage that they can come up with. You know what I'm saying? Again, if they're not in here, they're fake Israelites.
Yo, man, I'm so glad I came in here, man.
Most High in Christ.
Yo, because I could have went to one of them other motherfuckers.
Brother, that's idiots. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to front. Like, I couldn't have ended up, you know what I mean? I mean, I couldn't have because I'm here. So, obviously, this is where the Most High wanted me to be. I wanted you to be. You know what I mean? But I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? There's so much just downright trash out there. When we say fake Israelites, what do we mean by fake Israelites? Do we mean that in terms of their lineage, they're not actually Israelites? Some of them aren't Israelites, right? Because some of them got Edomites in their camps. Let's not forget that, right? Some of them got Edomites in their camps. Some of them got goddamn Hamites in their camps. You know what I mean? I'll be goddamn if I'll ever debate. You know what I'm saying? I I'm not saying I wouldn't debate a Hamite or Edomite, but I'm saying I ain't debating no Hamite that's in the Israelite group. Like you know what I'm saying? I cannot believe that this is what's going on there. And this is what happens when you stray away from the truth as it was set up in One West. You know what I'm saying? 1969, I.S.U.P.K. This is what happens. You end up letting non-Israelites in your groups, you know what I'm saying, peanut head Hamites in your groups, and they end up committing all kinds of atrocities, making you look bad and look crazy. Not in here. It will not go down. Only blacks, Hispanics, and Indians are the true Jews according to the Bible. If you are not a black, Hispanic, and Indian, and by black, we don't mean black skin. If you are not a, you understand, Negro, you know what I'm saying, descent, like you gotta be a Negro, so-called American Negro.
On the slave ship.
You know what I'm saying? You was on a slave ship. Your last name is Jones. Your last name is Grant. Your last name is Williams. You know what I'm saying? If you got a slave name, now we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about an Israelite. If your last name is damn, you know what I'm saying, Wainwright, right? You know what I'm saying? You got, I mean, my mother's last name is Irish. Me and my mother don't have the same last name, but my mother's last name is McClary. That is an Irish name. Mick Williams. If your name got a Mick in it, that's Irish, okay? That means your ancestors were owned by Irishmen. You understand? You know what I mean? But if your last name, Shalom Sissy, how Shalom Tabashim Shah. If your last name is Umbuku, you know what I'm saying, or Timbuktu, whatever the hell it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say automatically you a Hamite, but if you have that name for your parents, you know what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10, you are not of Israelite descent. You understand? My brother, I got an older brother. I told you about my older brother. His last name is straight up African. He changed his name. He changed his name from a slave name to an African name.
I did that too.
Legally.
No, not legally.
See, he changed his name legally. Check it out. He changed his name legally from a slave name to an African name, right? Then he found out later that the African name, that the name that he gave himself as a first name was Arabic. And now he doesn't want to be called by that name.
Because that's an Arabic name. They were slave traders as well.
Right. You know what I mean? But no sweat. But is there anything else, anybody in the chat, man? We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, man. Talk to me. Anything y'all want to bring out? Anything y'all been seeing out there in the world? You know what I mean? Y'all been dealing with it, the slave, what have you? What you got out?
I just want to bring out for the first time in my life, I'm an avid football fan. I watch football, and I was watching the game yesterday, and they came up with this commercial. And the theme of the commercial is that you could be whatever you want to be. And one of the things that they showed that I've never seen on football before was the promotion of a gay character, a black man who had won like a beauty pageant. He had on a tiara and a white like beauty pageant dress and one of those things. Yo, it was funny, but it was sad. Like, yo, and he was like crying like a bitch, like when he won the pageant.
Right.
Like, it was wild, man.
I mean,
I've never seen that in football.
Right.
You know, before quickly, you know, even the superhero series and stuff that they show on television, they even got gay superheroes now.
Right. That's crazy, but I mean, I know what you mean, man. But I remember seeing, wasn't there some football player that got drafted?
Yeah, he was Sam,
Michael Sam's or something. Sam's.
Yeah, his last name was Sam.
His last name was Sam or Sam's.
He got drafted by the Rams.
Right.
But he was the final cut.
He got drafted by the Rams.
Yeah. Nobody access to what it was. And he was the last man they cut. He didn't make the team. But they cut. It's known throughout the league that was a publicity stunt. They really never wanted him in the league. They just wanted, because he was so good in college, they had to draft him. Right. So they drafted him, and then right before the season started, they cut him.
Right. Well, yeah, you're going to see more and more of that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see more and more of them promoting all kinds of lifestyles and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, matter of fact, let's get into these scriptures, man, and get into it. But the water for that, brother, because that is definitely important. It's definitely important when you look on your TV and you starting to see the things that used to be, man, this used to be a manly sport, right? This used to be just a haven for masculinity. You know what I'm saying? But now, what they say now you got toxic masculinity. Now masculinity is a bad thing. They want the president double buck. They want to have a gay pride month. I'm wait, Salaki, brother, they don't have that already? Good night. I'm shocked. They don't have a gay pride month already?
They got a week.
They got a week?
Yeah.
Oh, so the brothers, okay, so you saying they want a month. Okay, no sweat.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have it.
And then they have that's the week. I think it's the same week they have the Pride Parade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure that they'll have a gay pride month in no time. You know what I mean? That wouldn't shock me at all. You know what I mean?
And it'll probably coincide with like Black History Month or either Harlem Week.
Yeah. They'll somehow mix the two. Yeah. They'll make it like March or something so you can blend the two together. Yeah. Black people, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are guinea pigs in America. It's going to be in February. Makes sense. Black people in America are guinea pigs. You know what I'm saying? We are every single disgusting, wicked device that they come up with. We're the mascot for it. You know what I'm saying? We're the mascot for all evil things in America. You know what I'm saying? We're not the source of it. Understand that. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? Like the brother said, the water. The oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, but guess what? He has to have a mascot to parade around and show his new wickedness. And he don't want to show his new wickedness with himself, man. He wants somebody else to validate it, to show that it's a good thing. Like, oh, you see what they do. You understand? Like the brother brought out yesterday, obviously y'all brought out. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen Christmas until you see black people do it. You haven't seen New Year's until you see black people do it. July 4th. Salakia, do the oppressors like, I don't even know what they do on July 4th. I don't even know. I mean, I'm sure they do something, but every July 4th that I know about as a black man in America has to do with, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of black men getting together in some park or in somebody's backyard with a grill, you know what I'm saying, and all kinds of wicked foods and pork chops or whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying? Ribs. Ribs, all of that. Every July 4th that I know about, I don't know what oppressors do on July 4th, but I know that black people get fireworks and goddamn blow their hand off. But like my man from the Giant, his name Jason Pierre-Paul,
yeah, that's him.
Blew his hand off. I believe it was July 4th. You know what I'm saying? It was around July 4th, and the brother said, I'm gonna get myself some fireworks and show out. He showed out, all right. You know what I'm saying?
Cost himself millions.
Cost himself millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, he was not the same player again after that.
You can't be the same player with one hand.
You cannot be, and he's a defensive player, right?
He was a defensive end, he was a pass rusher.
Pass rusher, you need them hands. You gotta be able to
and you know, a lot of times what happened, like when he was getting ready to grab the quarterback or somebody, he couldn't.
Right.
Because he had that hand wrapped up and he couldn't grab it with one hand.
Right. Good, and do your Googles, you know what I'm saying? Put it in your Google machine and look at Jason Pierre-Paul from the New York Giants and what happened to his hand. It's gruesome. You know what I'm saying? It is hideous what happened to that man's hand because he wanted to celebrate, you know what I'm saying, some fake holiday that got nothing to do with black people. You understand? But no sweat. We're going to get into that today, man. So today, of course, on your calendar is January 1st. You know what I'm saying? No need to beat around the bush. We're going to get into this fake New Year's garbage. You know what I'm saying? And I might do a little bit of history on it. Right? We might talk about a little bit of history. But more so what I want to talk about is how it's our responsibility as Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, the chosen people of God, man, the children of the Most High. This is not for us. This is not so many things that are common to us. We don't even think about it because it's like second nature. It's the culture we grew up in. Certain things like, you just grow up and you're familiar with, but you don't never stop and think, well, where does this come from? Why do I do such and such and such and such? January 1st being anybody's new year is not your culture. It is not the culture of your ancestors. It's not the culture of your people. It's the culture of another people. You understand? And those people are your oppressors. Those people own you. those people have you in captivity and have had you in captivity for the past 400, 500 years. You understand? And that's why you celebrate the things that come from their ancestors. When they celebrate them, it's paying homage to their history. You know what I'm saying? And now you celebrate them, you understand, thinking that it's yours. You think that July 4th is black people tradition. You understand? You think that Valentine's Day and whatever month and such, you think that that is the tradition of black people and Hispanics and Native Indians. Oh, Salakia, I missed the question. Salakia. The sister Tamika Odom Salakia, is it possible for someone to inherit demons? Like, are certain demons generational? Absolutely. Absolutely, demons are generational. You know what I'm saying? The demons, let me tell you something about demons, man. Demons are fully aware of what your great-great-grandfather, of how they could tempt him. Demons are fully aware of how your mother was tempted and what tempted her. So the demon knows what your line, what your ancestry, you understand, what problems y'all have. You know what I'm saying? You ever know someone who becomes an alcoholic and their father was an alcoholic? And you say, damn, I didn't think he was going to become one, but lo and behold, there he was, he became one. Or his father was a drug addict, or his grandfather, or his mother, or something such and such. The mother smoked cigarettes and now he smoked. You know what I mean? Demons are aware, Salakia. Demons are aware of who they're dealing with. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They have a mission. They have a job to do. They have a duty. And part of that duty is knowing basically what buttons to push. You know what I'm saying? The demons that mess with you, right? Yeah, okay, you might have a demon of alcoholism. You know what I'm saying? But the demon of, you know what I'm saying, drug addiction may not mess with you because he knows he can't get you. Like that's not going to be the thing. The demon's trying to destroy you and get you to destroy yourself. You understand? So they have to go at the very thing that you want to go towards, that you have a propensity, you know what I'm saying, or that you are predisposed to going towards, whether it be alcoholism or whoredom. You know what I'm saying? Some sisters had a promiscuous mother. Their mother was promiscuous. They had men coming in and out. Then the daughter gets molested at a young age. Now she's promiscuous, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So the demons definitely can be generational. You know what I'm saying? That's an absolute fact. You know what I'm saying? If you need precepts on that, I will get them to you. I don't have them on me right now, but absolutely, demons can mess with you due to your family history. You understand? I mean, Salakia, if I may, it should be obvious right now. Is the demon of you know, like poverty not on black people? Has it not been on black people for generations and generations? The demon of murder and selling drugs and wanting to be rich.
Is Christianity like a demon?
I wouldn't say that there is a demon of Christianity, but Christianity is about, you know, allows demons to get to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you could say it's a demon, but I wouldn't actually call it a demon. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? Christianity is a demon. I'll give that to you. Christianity is a demon. It's on blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. But what I'm saying is the individual demons, the demons of drug addiction, the demons of alcoholism, whoredom, being a whoremonger, hypocrisy, being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? Being loving money. That's a demon. You know what I'm saying? The demon of loving money, damn sure, is generational. We live in, as blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, doing anything to get to the bag now. Anything, selling our souls to get to the bag now, because our ancestors did the same thing. You can read about it in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Christ was dealing with these kind of people. He called them vipers. He called them hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? And he said that they did what they did for filthy lucre's sake. We've always done evil, wicked things for money. You know what I'm saying? That's not new. That's always been a facet of us as a people, unfortunately. You understand? But yeah, to answer that your question says yes, demons can be generational. You know what I mean? But back to what I'm talking about, back to this topic, Salakia. Understand? Salakia, brother. Matter of fact, if you can, Bob, shut. Give me Psalm 119 and 97. You know what I mean? We celebrate things that have nothing to do with us, man, because we are just addicted. I gotta get another scripture as well. Salakia. Okay.
The book of Psalms.
Hold it 1 second. Okay. Yeah, we just completely and utterly absolutely love, you know what I'm saying, to disobey our Father and do our own thing. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with us. That's why we celebrate holidays that have nothing to do with us, dying in the process, making fools of ourselves. Hold what you got, but first give me Proverbs 1 and 22. Start there first.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge.
How long will ye simple ones love simplicity? Ooh, wait. Matter of fact, I got to send you the article. I wasn't going to go into it, but I might as well. How long will ye simple ones love simplicity? How long will you love to not, I want to say this delicately. Simple ones loving simplicity. Okay. How long will you want to not grow up? Like, you know, they say Michael Jackson was obsessed with Peter Pan. I've heard that before.
I've heard
that he was obsessed with Peter Pan because why? Because Peter Pan could not get old. Peter Pan didn't grow old. He stayed a child. And as a child, life is so simple. It's so fun and awesome. And you just want to stay that way all the time. So read it from the top.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge?
How long will you love simplicity? How long will you want to stay in this childlike state? How long will you, be addicted to the rush of living in sin? How long will you, want to do the things that go against the scriptures, that go against the Most High, but it's just so delightful to you. The sins that you commit. How long will you want to live like that? You know what I'm saying? And it says, and fools hate knowledge. You hate knowledge. It's like we hate knowledge. What else other one I had you holding?
The 119th Psalm, verse 97.
Keep holding that one. But with this Proverbs, right? Because it says, and fools hate knowledge. You understand? I want you to get one more to go with this one. Salak, 1 second. Good night. It'll come to me. I can't think of it right now. What's the one? And fools hate knowledge. Oh. That's the one. I should have this one etched into my brain. Give me hold the not Proverbs, the other one I gave you, which is
Psalm 119.
Yeah, whole Psalms.
I got it.
Whole Psalms, and give me Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 10. It started 10. I know 9 is with it. You can start from 9 if you want. Yeah, start from 9. No sweat. I really want 10, but start from 9.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 9.
This is why our people are perfect mascots for what the brother brought out earlier. You didn't even mention at that time, but you brought out about how now the NFL, they got a commercial where they're promoting homosexuality. And the brother, it was a brother, right?
Yeah.
That was in a dress.
He was in a dress.
In a dress. With a tiara.
And a band.
I know what you're talking about, the thing that go across. But when you win a beauty contest.
He had like a bouquet of flowers or something. When he won, they gave it to him. He was like, just like a woman.
And the thing said, you can be what you want to be.
Yeah, the theme of the whole commercial, they showed a lot of different people. But he was the one that stood out to me.
Right, of course.
You know.
Yeah, you can be what you want to be. But here's the thing. The reason why that is because they already got the perfect group of people to do that with. This scripture proves why. Read that.
Verse 9, that this is a rebellious people.
This is a rebellious people. We gonna get into it a little bit, but we don't got to get into knowing that homosexuality is against the Most High. Eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster is against the Most High. Smoking cigarettes is against the Most High. Smoking weed, man. Being a drug dealer, being a drug addict is against the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Being a whore, sleeping around with multiple men, being a whoremonger, sleeping with women and leaving them. You know what I'm saying? That's against the Most High. That's against the scriptures. Rape, robbery, those things are against God. They are against the laws of God. You understand? So if you're going to promote something that is against the Most High, if you're going to promote homosexuality, if you're going to promote murder, if you're going to promote raping and robbing, if you're going to promote any of these things, well, who are you going to get to do it? Read it from the top.
That this is a rebellious people.
You're going to get God's people. Why? For two reasons. Why? One, because if you can get them to rebel against their power, you know what you'll make them? Powerless. If you can get blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to rebel against their power, they won't have any power, which is what has happened to us. It's been happening at every turn. Look through your scriptures, right? That's what it is. It's us losing power because we forsook our power. You know what I'm saying? We're going to read some scriptures talking about forsaking the Most High. But when we leave, that's our power. That's what the word God means, man. It means power. So when you see in the scriptures, it's my God, saying my power, the source of my strength. When you leave him and you rebel against him, who's going to fight your enemies? Most of the time in the scriptures, when we went to war with these other nations, we didn't have more numbers than them. We didn't outnumber them. You know what I'm saying? We're stronger than them physically, but if there's more of them, they could overtake us. What really was the difference between us winning and losing was that we had our power. You know what I'm saying? In fact, I remember one situation. If somebody who knows in the chat refresh my memory, I can't remember exactly where it was, but I know we had gone to war or something like that, right? And we were losing. We're like, why are we losing? And somebody was sinning. Go ahead.
I was just reading that. That's in the book of Joshua.
Right.
One instance is in the book of Joshua. Like we went against this city called I, and like we was kicking everybody else's ass till we got there. And one dude went in there and the Most High told him not to take anything. And he took it.
Right, that's what it was. We were informed not to take it. Sometimes you get the spoils of war. We were told, leave everything. Don't take the women, don't take the clothes, don't take nothing. And somebody did go up in there and take it. We knew because we started losing. And we was like, wait a minute, something ain't right. One of y'all messing up. One of y'all in here is sinning because the Lord is not with us right now. We understood that, and I think they dealt with that, brother, if I'm not mistaken.
They wiped him out and his whole family.
What he killed? Yep, that's the one. Killed him and his whole family. They got all of them up out of there. Because when we're not with the Most High, he's not with us. And if the Most High is our power. So if we're not with our power, we're powerless. So back to what I was saying, that's reason number one.
They burnt him alive.
Burnt him alive. Good night. Good night. I mean, that's how it was, man. The Most High ain't playing, man. Please.
Because what he did, 67 Israelites perished in that battle.
Right.
We lost I read it. It said 67 men were killed in that battle because of him. They killed him, his whole family, his cow, everything he owned.
Good night. Yo, we had to get that up out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's reason number one. Reason number one why they push these things or whatever, because they want you away from your power. They want you away from the source of your strength that'll make you, you know what I'm saying, strong enough to defeat them, strong enough to withstand their advances. We've been at war with these other nations. It never stopped, man. We've been at war with the other nations for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? And so that's reason number one. Reason number two of why they use you to promote these things is because not only is it going to, you know what I'm saying, make you weak and easier to enslave and manipulate, you're also the perfect candidate for it because you are, read it from the top, verse 9.
That this is a rebellious people.
You're already a rebellious people. You have a power that is the most high. The power of our nation is the creator. Do you understand that? Think about that for a second. The creator of the universe, of the heavens, the creator of all things, the creator of other nations, the creator of everything under the sun and over the sun and around the sun, favors us. Favors us. He likes us better than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? We're his children. You know what I mean? We're the ones that he adopted. We're the ones that he chose. We're the ones that have his namesake. He named us after him. Yasha Allah. You know what I'm saying? He named us after him, but we're rebellious people. We've been rebellious since when? Since the garden. You know what I'm saying? Our forefather, Adam, the forefather of us all, but when I say our forefather, because you understand, we are related to Adam through the patriarchs, through those the Most High chose to establish his covenant with. You know what I'm saying? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But we've been rebellious since the garden. You understand? Read it from the top one more time.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
They will not hear what?
The law of the Lord.
Children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Right now, or better yet, last night, brothers and sisters, Salakia, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, went out to their local bars, went out to their local pub, you know what I'm saying? They went out to the local club, you know what I'm saying? Or they went over to that house party, or they went over to their mama's house, or they went over to their auntie's house, or their grandfather's house, or they did it at their own house. And what did they do at 11:59? What did they do? Yeah,
They toasted in the new year.
they toasted in, they put up their drink, and they said 10, 9, 8. That's what they did. You know what I was doing at that time? I was snoozing. What the hell do I give a damn about? It's Wednesday. That's all it is. It's goddamn Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no goddamn New Year? What the hell is new about it? You know how cold it is out here? And God forbid up in New York. You know what I'm saying? It is cold. It's freezing. What the hell is new about this? What's new about it? Salakia. It's like I'm dealing with children. Only a fool would say that something, forget the fact that it's still cold, whatever. If it was this way today and tomorrow it's the same, then how is it? It's a new day, but how is it a new year? What exactly constitutes a year? Yeah.
As the scripture said, that they would be able to change dates and time. And the only thing they knew is that they selected this particular month for what I don't know the reason why they selected, but it has something to do with their ancient holy day, as far as like with the what we read before with the with Chris what Christmas is now. I forgot the name of it. And they all bunched it all together and we make this the new year. That's
right.
What they did.
Absolutely.
According to the Gregorian calendar.
Absolutely. You're talking about the winter solstice.
Yes.
Right. That's absolutely true. Right. We're gonna get it. I wasn't gonna bring out the history now, but since, you know what I'm saying, it's a part of keeping this law, right? Because we just read that scripture one more time.
That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
You know you can't tell black people are keeping this law, man. Black people, first, blacks and Hispanics, man, literally will tell you they don't want to listen to nobody. Like, get out, please.
Could we read?
No, we're going to. Yeah, no, we're not stopping at 9.
Okay.
Originally, I was actually going to start at 10, but I figured, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, man, hearing the law, man, we don't like laws. You ever notice that? Black people don't like rules. Hispanics do not like rules. Native Indians do not like rules, right? We're rebellious people. We always want to, we're strong, and that's too wild, but we want to use our strength in order to rebel against things. Whenever there's an authority, we're not having it. We don't like that. We don't.
Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not.
Would say to the seers, what is a seer? Yeah,
a prophet.
A seer is a prophet, right? There's a scripture on that. If you need to let me know. A scripture, seer was the old term that was used to mean prophet. Read on.
And to the prophet, prophesy not unto us right things.
And to the prophets, what?
Not unto us right things.
Prophesy not unto us right things. I mean, have anyone in here ever heard of Creflo Dollar? Have you ever heard of T.D. Jakes? Have you ever heard of Kirk Franklin? Have you ever heard of Juanita Bynum? Have you ever heard of, give me some more, what you got? What we got?
Shirley Caesar.
Shirley Caesar. Have you ever heard of Joshua Holmes? Have you ever heard of the Winans? Give me, you know what I mean? We can do, who else I got? I'm trying to think of one in New York and Brooklyn. What's his name? Oh, damn.
All these names, man.
Salaki, when I was in the world, man, I let my goddamn, some woman drag me to the damn place. I can't think of his name right now. I can't think of his name. You know what I mean? But all of these people are here to do this scripture. Why are they rich? You think that you get rich by telling people? I always bring this up, right? I learned when I worked for a marketing company about like how you have to deal with people. You have to tread lightly, right? Because already people are like, you know what I'm saying, they're kind of weary of people. They don't like to be sold to, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta tread lightly. And they basically would tell us, Salaki, Yolanda, Hezekiah Walker, that's the one. That's the one. The water. Hezekiah Walker, that's the cat. You know what I mean? But they would tell us basically, people want to hear certain things. You can't present it to them in a way that's too combative. They like to hear certain things. You got to know what people want to hear. You know what I'm saying? People will like words. So they would tell us to use certain words and not use other words. Like, what was the word they told us not to use? Oh, they told us not to use the word but. Like the word but, like such and such, but they said don't use that.
They say however.
Use and. At any given, say and. Don't say such and such, but such and such. Say, well, such and such and such, because one has a more negative connotation. And when you say negative words, you can affect somebody's mood. You know what I'm saying? Read that part again.
Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things.
They literally told them. They say to the seers, they say to the prophets, they say to the I.S.U.P.K, we don't want to hear about how it is unlawful to eat fried pork chops. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about how bacon is unlawful. Don't tell me to get the beef bacon. I want the pork one. I want it. Don't tell me I can't have sex with whores. What's the matter with you? I don't want to hear that. Oh, here you come talking about this garbage. I don't want to hear this, man. Am I saying something you never heard before? Am I saying something you never heard before? When you tell your family, you know you are an Israelite, man. You are an Israelite. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Jews according to the Bible. God cares about you and no one else. I don't want to hear this. God loves everybody. You know why they're saying that? They saying that because they don't want to lose their seat. They don't want to lose their place in this world or whatever little bit they got, the little piece of the pie. You understand? But we're dealing with these Christian pastors and such like that. This is exactly what we're talking about. Read on.
Speak unto us smooth things.
Speak unto us smooth things. Speak unto us things that sound so wonderful, and things that are what they say, that's a hard pill to swallow. You understand? That's what they say, right? They say, well, that's a hard pill to swallow. Well, guess what? To somebody that loves cigarettes, the fact that you can't smoke cigarettes is a hard pill to swallow. To somebody that grew up in the ghetto and their favorite pastime was being a whore or being a whoremonger, saying, oh, sex is marriage, it's a hard pill to swallow. I'm going to give you one more. Telling a woman, a black woman, a Hispanic woman, that a man can have more than one wife. That's a hard pill to swallow. Ooh-wee. You mean I'm not going to be special? You mean I'm not going to be his only one that he cares about? I mean, good night. You have a hard enough time having your woman be okay with you chilling with other men who she knows you obviously are not romantically interested in. She wants you. She don't even want you to go out with your friends half the time. But now you might be out with another woman. Ooh-wee. So guess what? You know what they're going to take instead of that? You cannot have sex before marriage. You can only have one wife. You can eat whatever you want to eat. They're going to lie to the scriptures and say things like what? Like, what's the thing they say? It's not what goes into a man that defiles him, but what comes out of a man. Not even understanding that scripture is not talking about food. You understand? That's not what it's talking about at all. Like literally the context of that scripture has nothing to do with food. It was talking about like dirty dishes. I'm saying because they were complaining about them eating without washing their hands, right? But that's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you what sounds nice and what makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? New Year's feels good to people. Being able to go to the club or the bar and toast to the new year like everybody else and be social, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? It seems right. The other scripture says there's a way which seemeth right to a man, but the end thereof is destruction. You understand? I'm paraphrasing, I believe. You understand? But that's what we want. We, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, want to be told the things that are just easy, that feel good. They don't change anything. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're going to get into this. I'm going to send you this article real fast.
Come on.
We're going to get into this New Year's garbage. You understand? Real quick. Let me see. Bear with me. Like I said, I wasn't going to go into the history on it, but I think it's pretty prevalent. Because I just sent you some articles the other day. Let me know when you got it, brother.
Ancient origins?
Yep, that's the one.
I got it.
All right. So now we're going to get into some of this history so we can understand how this relates to what I'm talking about. But you would, no, matter of fact, go ahead. Start reading that.
The ancient origin of New Year's celebrations. On the 1st of January, every year, many countries around the world celebrate the beginning of a new year. But there is nothing new about New Year's. Mm-hmm. In fact, festivals and celebrations marking the beginning of the calendar year have been around for thousands of years. While some festivities were simply a chance to drink and be merry, mm-hmm. many other New Year celebrations were linked to agricultural or astronomical events.
Astronomical events, we're talking about the stars, man. That's why the other scripture, I won't read it again, we went to it on Christmas, where the Most High told us, man, he said, I'm saying, don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven, because the heathen are dismayed at them. You understand? Jeremiah 10:2, right? The heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven. That's why you'll notice a lot of these holidays have to deal with stars and moons and things that's going on in space and all of that. Astronomy. Okay, read on.
While some festivities are simply a chance of what I've got that. In Egypt, for instance, the year began with annual flooding of the Nile, which coincided with the rising of the star Sirius. The Phoenicians and Persians began their new year with the spring equinox, and the Greeks celebrated it on the winter solstice.
The Greeks did what?
Celebrated it on the winter solstice.
The Greeks celebrated it on the winter solstice. We're going to get more on how that came about and why they celebrated it then, but understand something. Anything that's new is refreshed. You understand? That's what it means to be new. Matter of fact, Salakia. Let's look it up. I'm saying I don't need to just say it. Oh, come on, computer, don't trip on me now. Good night. My computer is tripping. Aha! Right here. We have the definition of new, right? There's a few definitions that have recently come into existence. I'm saying being other than the former or old, having been in a relationship or condition but a short time. But the fourth definition, beginning as the resumption or repetition of a previous act or thing. Number 4, made or become fresh. Made or become fresh. So to be new, it has to have gone through a process, completed that process, and now starting back from the beginning of that process. So now let's just you wouldn't start something new in the dead of the time when everything is dead. That's number 1, right? But let's just say you were. Let's pretend you were. I feel like it's been winter for how long? Now, winter doesn't start on January 1st. It starts in December. You know what I'm saying? Or the end of November, the middle of December, something like that, right?
December 20th.
Yeah. January 1st is a random day. It's called January 1st, but it has it's arbitrary. It doesn't have any practical connection to the seasons whatsoever. It has no practical connection to the cycle of the seasons. It's just random. But that's the beginning of a new year. Come on, read on.
The Phoenicians and the Persians began their new year with the spring equinox, and the Greeks celebrated on the winter solstice. The first day of the Chinese New Year, meanwhile, occurred with the second new moon after the winter solstice.
Now they got something about the Akitu in Babylon. We don't skip over that for now. About their the beginning of their New Year's. And what they did, a bunch of gods and garbage and yada yada yada. I want the one that's go down to what's this ancient Rome celebration of Janus. That's what I want. That's where I want to go because that's really where we get, not we, Salakia, where America gets its New Year from.
Ancient Roman celebration of Janus. The Roman New Year also originally corresponded with the vernal equinox. The Roman calendar consisted of 10 months.
Consisted of what?
10 months and 304 days. Each new year beginning at the vernal equinox.
Each new year beginning at the vernal equinox. Okay? That's how it originally was in Rome. And let's see what the vernal equinox is. Salakia, bear with me. The vernal equinox, this is in the Encyclopedia Britannica, right? Vernal equinox in astronomy. 2 moments in the year when the sun is exactly above the equator and day and night are of equal length. Also, either of the 2 points in the sky where the ecliptic, the sun's annual pathway, and celestial equator intersect. In the northern hemisphere, the vernal equinox, and Rome, of course, is in the northern hemisphere, right? The vernal equinox falls about March 20th or 21st as the sun crosses the celestial equator going north, right? So, move on. According to the astronomical definition of the seasons, the vernal equinox also marks the beginning of spring, which lasts until the summer solstice, June 21st, in the northern hemisphere. Understand? So the vernal equinox represents the beginning of spring. So read what you got again, that part.
According, the early Roman calendar consisted of 10 months and 304 days, which New Year beginning at the vernal equinox. According to the tradition, the calendar was created by Romulus, the founder of Rome, in the 8th century BC. However, over the century, the calendar fell out of sync with the sun,
right?
And in 46 BC, the emperor Julius Caesar decided to solve the problem by consulting with the most prominent astronomers and mathematicians of his time. He introduced the Julian calendar, a solar-based calendar which closely resembled the more modern Gregorian calendar, Slovakia, that most countries around the world use today.
Now, what's important, right? At the beginning of this paragraph, it said there was only 10 months. How in the hell is that possible? Somebody tell me what's wrong here. We have 12 months in our Gregorian calendar, right? And it says it was 304 days. Where in the hell did the other two months come from? Somebody tell, okay, no sweat. There's 12 months and good.
Once they, started to follow the stars and chart the stars and stuff, they saw that there was a discrepancy between, their actual New Year and the New Year or the full cycle.
Well, actually, in a way, quite the opposite. I mean, first off, they was worshiping the sun. Let's just get that out the way, right? They're worshiping the sun, so they got to change things. That's what come up to, right? It's not about keeping time as much as it is about worshiping fake gods. You understand? Because think about it this way. There's 12 months in our calendar. During this time with Julius Caesar, right? They slipped in a month. They said it was 10 months. So they slipped in a month called July to honor Julius Caesar, and a month called August to honor Augustus Caesar. Somebody tell me what is the 9th month of the year? Yeah, September. What's the 8th month of the year?
August.
It's like what's the 10th month of the year?
October.
So sept, that prefix means what?
6.
No,
7.
7. Sept. Oct means what? Means 8. Yes, that's the 10th month. Nove or nueve, 10, right?
9.
Would mean 9, but in our calendar it's 11. Dece or dies for 10, but in our calendar it's
12. December.
Right. It's off kilter. I mean, all of these things that they changed so they can slip in honoring these people and such, right? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. December is supposed to be the 10th month, but it's the 12th month in this calendar. You know what I mean? That's amazing. But guess what? It didn't matter because they still, they still got to honor. Let's read on.
And part of this reform, as part of this reform, Caesar instituted January 1st as the first day of the year, partly to honor the month's namesake, Janus, the Roman god of change.
To honor who?
The Roman god of change.
Janus, the Roman god of change. Read on.
The Roman God of change and beginning, whose two faces allowed him to look back into the past and forward into the future. So this idea became tied to the concept of transition from one year to the next.
That's why you have a New Year's resolution. That's why when the New Year comes, you want to say, well, my goal for this year, this is, you know what I'm saying, 2019 is over, you know what I'm saying, 2020 is it. This is my year. You know what I mean? This is where I make all my dreams come true. This is where it all happens, baby. You know what I mean? New year, new me. That's where it comes from because you're celebrating Janus, the Roman god of change. This is when you change. This is when we transition. January 1st. And that's why you're in the goddamn gym today. You know you went to the gym today. Don't front. You know what I'm saying? You ain't go to the gym all last year, but January 1st, no, I'm getting right this year. I'm eating right. You know what I'm saying? New year, new me. You dropping all the carbs. You know what I'm saying? Salakia. You dropping all the carbs, all the, you know what I'm saying, all the red meat. This is what you're doing. You're going to the gym January 1st. Don't worry, I did it before myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely trying to get, you know what I'm saying, my health in order. I'm trying to eat a little bit better. But it damn sure ain't got nothing to do with any of this garbage. You know what I'm saying? But this is where we get it from. This is why everybody on your timeline is talking about what they're going to do this year. Well, last year didn't work for me, but this year, New Year's resolution, new year, new me, going to the gym, eating better, you know what I'm saying? I'll get the new job, I'm going back to school. I'm going to change. I'm going to be better this year. You understand? Shalom, on the one I.S.U.P.K. I'm going to be better this time around. Read that part again. So I can start from where it says,
that's part of
start from right there.
As part of his reform,
Julius Caesar, where you get July from, read on.
Instituted January 1st as the first day of the year, partly to honor the month's namesake. This is who the month was named after. Read on. Janus, or you say Janus, but it's Janus. Janus. Mm-hmm. The Roman god of change and beginnings, whose two faces allowed him to look back into the past and forward into the future.
He can look back into the past. 2019 was cool, but yeah, 2019 wasn't my year. 2019 was a great year. 2019 was lit. But, read on.
This idea became tied to the concept of transition.
Salakia, it said his two faces allowed him to look into the past and forward into the future. And 2020, what we got in store for 2020? Already, I'm sure there's on the internet, there's a list right now. What celebrity gossip is gonna be big in 2020? What company is gonna do this in 2020? Who's gonna dominate on the NASDAQ in 2020? You understand? Read on. Read on from what it says, Salakia, brother. The idea. The idea became tied.
First restored. The idea.
It's right after when you read.
This idea became tied to the concept of the transition from one year to the next.
Read on.
Romans would celebrate January 1st by offering sacrifices to Janus in the hope of gaining good fortune for the new year, decorating their homes with laurel branches and attending raucous parties. Attending raucous parties.
Let's see what the word raucous means. The word raucous. Ooh-wee. Raucous. This is the definition. Disagreeably harsh or strident, hoarse, boisterously disorderly. Here's another definition: making or constituting a disturbingly harsh and loud noise. And this said what? They would do what?
With laurel branches and attending raucous parties.
It was attending raucous parties, disorderly parties, loud parties. 10, 9, 8. You know what I'm saying? They was attending raucous parties. You feel me? They was drinking, I mean, what's something they sing around New Year's? Isn't there a song that they be singing around that time?
May old acquaintance be forgotten.
Should old acquaintance laying on top of each other, drunk as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? Raucous parties. And God forbid if somebody just got a promotion or something like that, or somebody's birthday, or somebody's doing well. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a, you know what I mean? It sounds so oppressive. You know what I mean? That's what they've got. That's what you got to do. What you got to do. That's what we would attend, man. Salakia. We would attend to during slavery, but I'm saying we're going back to the history now. Raucous parties, wild, just off the Richter scale parties. You know what I mean? With drinks and orgies, because you know they're Romans, though. So Romans ain't doing nothing without homosexual sex and child molestation. You know what I'm saying? They got fancy words for it. Pederasty. You know what I'm saying? It's like a word that they use to describe in ancient Rome how they would sleep with little boys. You know what I'm saying? But they was having raucous parties. Again, making or constituting a disturbingly harsh and loud noise, man. That's what they was doing. But we're called to be something different. We're called to not follow after that. We're called to follow the laws of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? That's what our job is. You know what I mean? And this is a celebration. Matter of fact, let me read this real fast. Let me read this real quick. Brother, give me Isaiah 45:5. You know what I'm saying? Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3 says what? It says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's what the Most High said. That's a law. That is a law. You cannot have any other gods before me. But we just read that what they were doing was they was giving sacrifices to the goddess, the god Janus. You understand? That's what they were doing around this time. And having raucous parties. January was named after Janus. When you went to that goddamn New Year's party last night, when you went to that party and you toasted and you went and you goddamn went down, and all my brothers and sisters in New York, you know what I'm saying, right now, you know what I mean, you got me and Yalazar up in here, we know about it. You went down to Times Square, you know you did it. You know you was in Times Square, and you know you went and watched the goddamn ball drop. You know what I'm saying? And you went and smooched with that goddamn whore at 12 a.m. You know what I'm saying? You laid one on her at 12 a.m. because you love her so damn much. Well, she's going to be in some other Negro's bed tomorrow. You understand? But that's what you went and did. You watched that ball drop, and when you did it, you were celebrating who? The goddess, or the god Janus. You understand? That's what you were doing. But the Bible says, read what you got out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 5.
Yeah, Exodus says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. But hear this one too.
I am the Lord.
The Most High said, I am the Lord. I'm in charge, man. I am the Lord. I am the boss of this, man. Read on.
And there is none else.
And there's what?
There is none else.
No, there's Janus.
None else.
No, there's Julius Caesar.
None else.
No, there's Zeus.
There is no God besides me. None else.
There's none else. Read on.
There is no God besides me.
There's no God besides me. There is no Janus. There is no none of these people. Read on.
I girded thee, though thou hast not known me.
I protected you. I gave you strength, even though you rebel against me. But the important part is that I am the Lord, and there's no one else beside me. There's no Janus. There's none of these people. But yet you, Salakia, I gotta get in the habit of that. We continually go out and celebrate other people's gods. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Even these months these aren't our months. They're not named after. You want to sit up here and talk about, your astrological sign. Yeah, I was born in March. You know what I'm saying? My birthday's in May, so I'm a Gemini. My birthday's in February. I'm Aquarius, or whatever the hell it is that you think you are. Nigga, Salakia. This ain't your God. These ain't your months anyway. This is someone else's culture. This is the culture of the oppressor. This is what they made up. Let's see. Let's read about how somebody felt about his own culture. We read before about how this is a rebellious people, children that will not hear the law. Jump back to that real fast, brother Salakia. We didn't get to finish that fully.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 10, verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
Children that won't hear the law of the Lord. We don't want to do what the God told us to do. We want to do what we want to do, and what we want to do. Let's get it straight. Let's just cut through the nonsense, right? What you want to do is only going to go one or two ways. You're either going to follow God's culture, the culture of your people, of the Israelites, or you're going to follow a heathen's culture. Everything you do is following a culture. Which one is it? Either you're going to follow yours, which is Israelite culture, which is this Magun Awadah right here. Your culture is One West. Your culture is, you know what I'm saying, a mitri, you know what I'm saying, or a headband, you know what I'm saying? Your culture, you know what I'm saying, is militant. Your culture is a Magun Dawadah, right? Salakia. Your culture is a Magun Dawadah, right? Your culture is warlike apparel. You know what I'm saying? That's your culture. Your father is a what? A man of what? A man of war. Why do you think in the U.P.K we gird ourselves in warlike apparel? Because that's our culture. Your culture is fringes on the borders of your garments. And when I say the borders of your garment, I mean your priestly garment. When you go to camp, when you go to class, when you teach it, when you got a lecture, that is your culture. No, your culture is not putting fringes on your goddamn tube socks. That's not your culture, to put fringes on your tube socks or fringes on your disgusting undershirt that you sweating when you go play ball. I seen a nigga with fringes on his basketball shorts. Ooh-wee. Good night. Fringes on basketball shorts. That's not your culture, but that's neither here nor there. You're either going to celebrate your culture or somebody else's. Oh, you're a Buddhist. That's Moabite culture. Oh, you're what are you, Hindu? That's Elamite culture. Oh, you're a Muslim. That's Arab culture. That's Ishmael's culture. You're a Christian. That's Edomite culture. That's the culture of the oppressor. You can name whatever you want to name. You can be, oh, I'm spiritual, and you got dreadlocks. Again, that's Elamite culture. Dreads is Elamite culture. It's Indian culture, East Indian culture. You understand? You can give me some more, man. Anything you name, anything that you do that's not your culture, it's somebody else's culture. You're going to follow something. You know what I'm saying? And what the scriptures say, you can't serve two masters. You don't love one and hate the other. You claim that you love God and you know what I'm saying, but you slave to the weed, man. That marijuana, which again is the culture of heathens. That's not your culture. Smoking weed is not your culture. Smoking opioids is not your culture. Heroin is not your culture. You understand? Pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster is not your culture. You know what I'm saying? So when it says, where we at? You won't hear the law of the Lord. Well, the law of the Lord is your culture. You understand? Read on from there.
Verse 10. Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceit.
Prophesy deceit. Just lie to us. Just make it easy. Just tell us we can eat pork crust. What's that?
Just make it sound good.
Make it sound good. You know what I'm saying? Get up there and do your best. Martin Luther King, don't he sound so good? That brother, man. He get up there and he got that voice. Then one day, rise up. It sounds it make you feel. You ever watch a movie and you just be overwhelmed, like, oh Lord. You know what I'm saying? It'd be something that got nothing. I mean, The Color Purple is the most black man bashing movie in the history of movies. But Salakia, when I watch the end of it and them sisters get to doing all of this, I'll be damn near moved myself. Like, oh, boy. You know what I'm saying? That mister was just so terrible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he was too wild. I'm just giving an example. something can catch you, you know what I'm saying, get your emotions, you know what I'm saying, off kilter, right? You know what I mean? But that's the same thing, you know what I mean, if you're not careful. You said, so read that part again.
Which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceit.
Prophesy deceit. Just lie to us. Just lie to us. That's be better. We'd rather that. We don't want to hear the truth. We don't want to hear what's right at all. No, thank you. Read on.
Verse 11. Get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Because the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Verse 12. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise the word, this word, and trust in oppression.
And trust in what?
Oppression.
Trust in oppression. You trust in America. You trust in America. You trust in your oppressor. You trust in the same man that destroyed you, that destroys your people. You trust in him. You say we should vote for him. You say we should support him. We shouldn't be racist against him. We should love him. No sweat. Read on.
And trust in oppression and perverseness.
You trust in oppression and your perverseness. You trust in all the perverse things that they tell you are okay. Now they tell you it's okay for two men to get married. And you trust in that. You understand? Read on.
And stay thereon.
Read on.
Verse 13. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach, ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall,
right,
whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
Right. These sins are going to destroy you. This breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall like a levee. Like what happened down there in New Orleans when the levees broke, a levee to protect the water, like a dam or something. It keeps water on one side and it swells. And then it says the breaking coming suddenly at an instant out of nowhere. You can't control it no more. You know what I'm saying? It's bursted through. That's what your sins are going to be like. You understand? That's what it's like. Now give me the other one I wanted. Did I get that to you yet? No, I didn't get
it. Yeah, you gave me Psalm 119 and 97.
Give me that one now. The why you've been holding that this whole time. Give me that one now. Because now we're going to read about someone who actually does love his culture. You understand? Read on.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 97.
We just read about how our people don't like to hear the law. We don't want to hear the truth. That's not what we want at all. You know what I'm saying? We want the lies and the deceit so we can continue to live the way that feels comfortable to us. You know what I'm saying? But let's read about a brother who loved his culture. Read that.
Verse 97. Oh, how I love, oh, how love I thy law.
Oh, how love I thy law. Who is talking here? Yeah,
David.
King David.
King
David, man. Where you at? Psalms 119?
97, verse 97.
Psalms 97?
Verse 119.
Chapter 119.
Chapter 119, Slakia, verse 97.
Read it from the top.
Oh, how love I thy law.
He loved the law. Read on.
It is my meditation all the day.
It is my meditation all the day. King David loved the law of the Most High. King David loved his culture. King David loved to rock it. You know what I'm saying? He loved to have that Dawah, man. It started with him, man. When he put that stamp, he was proud to be the king of Israel. When he had that stamp on his ring, that Magun Dawah, bah, and he put it on a document, he was proud of his culture. He was proud to rock a mitre, man, and rock a headband. He was proud to, you know what I'm saying? He was proud of his warlike apparel. He was proud of his culture. That's why he said to, when Goliath came up against him, what did he call Goliath? I love what he said. He said that this uncircumcised heathen, that's what he called him. Everybody else was scared, shivering in their boots. King David was like, man, I'm going to kill bears and lions. And this uncircumcised heathen is going to fall just like that. You understand? That's King David. And he said he loved it. King David was so strong that he loved the Lord the Most High. It takes strength. There's no cowards in here because there's no cowards in the Bible. We're taught to do what? We're taught to uphold the law and be upright, to be righteous. We are the prince of the power. You understand? Read it from the top.
Oh, how love I thy Lord.
How love I thy Lord. Read on.
It is my meditation all the day.
I'm thinking about the law all day long. Read on.
98. Though thy commandments, thou through thy commandments has made me wiser than mine enemies.
Thou through my commandment, through thy commandments has made me wiser than mine enemies. The other scripture tells us what? You know what I'm saying? That they would say what? They would say, man, what a wise people, or what a wise people. Look at that. It's a lot. Who have the God so nigh unto them. Salakia. I don't want to paraphrase this one.
That's Deuteronomy 4 and 6.
The water, Most High in Christ. The water, brother. I'm going to read that one. You hold what you got.
I'm holding.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 6. Keep therefore and do them. Talking about the laws, right? For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Verse 7. For what nation is there so great who have God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? You know what I'm saying? No other nation is as great as us. You think the Romans are great with their Janus? Janus? You think the Romans are great with Zeus and all of them? Hercules? They got Greek and Roman gods are so weak that they have sex with people. Like Zeus is a rapist. Like an actual, by definition, rapist. In Islam, their prophet is a pedophile. Like, it's not a dispute. Like, he's a pedophile. Like, he married like a 7-year-old girl.
9.
Slakia, 9-year-old girl named Fatima?
Fatima.
I think it's Fatima.
Fatima.
Right?
Fatima.
He married a 9-year-old. He was like 30-something or 40-something.
Then they started trying to claim that he didn't have sex with her. But sex is matter. Even in Islam.
So what did he do with her?
Yeah, I don't know. They came anyway.
Salakia, I got you.
They told a lot of stories. I heard a lot of shit about it, but they're not even worth talking.
Right, of course not. It's garbage. It's tomfoolery. Right. For what nation is there so great who have God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. The Most High is nigh unto us. That's why King David is saying what he's saying. Read that last verse you got again. Thou,
Through thy commandments, has made me wiser than mine enemies.
I'm wiser than my enemies because I follow your commandments. Read on.
For they are ever with me.
Read on.
Verse 99. I have more understanding than all my teachers.
Not having more understanding than all your teachers, meaning the men above you or you outrank you. He's saying, it's like I have more understanding. You got some brothers in the school right now who's in high school, who's in college. You know what I'm saying? You learning all the wisdom of the world. You know what I'm saying? King David was a king. He was taught about things that happened that was going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? There was people in the world. There was other cultures, other nations. He was learning different things, but he had more understanding even than his teachers because of how important them precepts was to him. He followed that law to a T. Read on.
For thy testimonies are my meditation.
Read on.
Verse 100. I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts.
I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts. I understand more than my father or my grandmother or my great-grandmother, great-grandfather, great-great-great. I understand more than them because I'm taught to keep this. You know what I'm saying? All my brothers too. Our understanding is leveled up because we keep these precepts. Read on.
Verse 101. I have refrained my feet from every evil way, that I might keep thy word.
No, he was celebrating New Year's.
That I might keep thy word.
No, he was celebrating Christmas.
That I might keep thy word.
He refrained himself from every evil way that I might keep thy word. His word said what? Not to follow after other gods. And there's no other gods beside him. So you think King David was celebrating New Year's? You know what I'm saying? This is, man, it disgusts me to even think about somebody else's culture. It disgusts me. You know what I'm saying? I go to I feel funny going to the Chinese restaurant. I'll go. The food be twab sometimes. But and let's not get it twisted. Chinese food that you get at a Chinese restaurant is not really Chinese culture. They don't really eat that stuff, but that's really something to make for black people. But the point I'm trying to make is somebody else's culture is an affront to my very being. It makes me sick. I don't want it. It's garbage. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to wear a suit. You know what I mean? When I was a young fool in college, man, I wanted to be, and that's why I tell brothers, man, I'll say this with no shade. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York, and brothers come from different walks of life. Some brothers was gangbanging. Some brothers was dealing drugs. Some brothers was doing all kinds of things. If I was not in this truth, I would probably have ended up being a drug addict hanging out with oppressors in the Lower East Side. That's who I would have ended up being. You know what I'm saying? I would have been like an A$AP Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would have become. You know what I mean? I would have been the cat, you know what I'm saying, that was, you know what I'm saying, with the skinny jeans, getting high eventually. I didn't get high at the time, but I'm saying that was the trajectory I was going on. In college, that's what people were doing. I would have eventually gone that route. You understand? But the Wada, the Rakatha Yahweh Hawashah, I got understanding from these precepts. You know what I'm saying? I refrain from those things. You know what I mean? I don't even think about them anymore. You know what I mean? But that was the trajectory. You know what I'm saying? But King David said he refrained from every evil way that he might keep thy word. That's what keeps you from becoming any evil thing. You know what I'm saying? He said he refrained his feet from every evil way. Because being evil ain't just being in the gang. Being evil ain't just gangbanging or shooting people or robbing people. Being evil is lying to your children. I know Christian women who think they're the most righteous people in the world, but they're evil because they hate their children. You know what I'm saying? They hate, I know people who sing in church every week and hate their siblings and hate everyone around them and mistreat people and are mean. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as black and white as just, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, you sell drugs. No, man. If you're not doing what the Most High told you to do, it's evil. It's evil, man. I was evil before I got in here.
Me too.
Every single one, but no matter what you was doing, you were evil. You said, well, I was just feeding my family. No, you were evil. You sold drugs to feed your daughter, like Biggie said. You sold drugs to feed you. Well, how many daughters died because of you? Somebody's daughter had an overdose because of you. Prostituted themselves and gave up the best of themselves and sold their soul because of you. How many people committed suicide because of you? How many mothers, you know what I'm saying, cried and mourned over their dead children because you was gangbanging and you was green lit on that brother. It was a green light on that brother, man. How many? Or you were a drug addict yourself and your mother cried every night because of you. You know what I'm saying? And how many women did you destroy? How many brothers did you also get on drugs and they end up dying or killing themselves? How many people's lives did you affect because of your sin, because of your evil? If you're not living righteously, if you're not keeping the laws, if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K and committing judgment, you are evil. That's it. You understand? Read what you got again. That the last one. Verse
I have
101. Yeah.
Verse the 119th Psalm, verse 101. I have refrained my feet from every evil way, that I might keep thy word.
I have refrained myself from my feet from every evil way, that I might keep thy word. And guess what? If you celebrated January 1st, if you celebrated New Year's last night and you toasted and watched the ball drop and said 10-9, whatever the hell, guess what? You're evil. You understand? Why? Because if you're not following the laws of the Most High, that's where evil comes from. Right? That's what King David is saying. Because I follow you, I don't commit evil. The Most High said not to follow after other gods. He said, learn not the way of the heathen. Don't be dismayed at the signs of heaven. That's what the Most High told us. But what did you do last night? You celebrated the god Janus. You understand? That comes from astronomy and astrology. That's the god of another nation. You know what I'm saying? That's what you did. You sacrificed to her when you spent $100 on drinks, on a round of shots of Patron, or whatever the hell you buy. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, that's evil. This fake New Year's, which is not the New Year according to the Bible, is evil. You understand? Read on.
Verse 102. I have not departed from thy judgments, for thou hast taught me. Verse 103. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth.
Right.
Verse 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way.
I hate every false way. I hate New Year's. Read on.
Verse 105. Thy word is as a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
It's a lamp unto my feet. The metaphor is saying what? It guides me. It guides me in the right way so I don't stumble, so I don't fall, so I don't hit a wall. It's a guide. It's a lamp unto my feet. I can't see where I'm going without it. You know?
Verse 106. I have sworn, and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgments. Verse 107.
Drop that. Go back to the article.
Middle Ages, January 1st abolished.
Yeah.
And many.
No, actually, no. I don't think you read that. Read after where it says raucous parties. So the paragraph right before that, right after it says raucous parties.
Okay. This day was seen as setting the stage for the next 12 months. And it was common for friends and neighbors to make a positive start to the year by exchanging well wishes and gifts of figs and honey with one another.
Right, we don't.
Middle Ages, January 1st abolished. In medieval Europe, however, the celebrations accompanying the new year were considered pagan and unchristian-like.
Read on. They were considered pagan and unchristian-like. Read on.
And in 567 AD, the Council of Tours abolished January 1st as the beginning of the year, replacing it with days carrying more religious significance.
Such as what?
Such as December 25th or March 25th, the Feast of the Annunciation, also called Lady Day. The date January 1st was also given Christian significance and became known as the Feast of Circumcision, considered to be the 8th day of Christ's life, counting from December 25th and following the Jewish tradition of circumcision 8 days after the birth, which is the child is formally given his or her name. However, the date of December 25th for the birth of Jesus is debatable.
As you can see, it was all pagan garbage. Pagan. Even they got rid of January 1st at one point because they said, man, this is pagan. And they just replaced it with some more pagan stuff. December 25th. You know what I'm saying? Which is, of course, the birth of Nimrod. You know what I'm saying? An incestuous bastard African. You understand? Read on.
In 1582, after reform of the Gregorian calendar, Pope Gregory VIII reestablished January 1st as the New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Although most Catholic countries adopted the Gregorian calendar almost immediately, it was only gradually adopted amongst Protestant countries. The British, for example, did not adopt their reformed calendar until 1752.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, the British Empire and their American colonies still celebrated the New Year in March.
Wow. So even as short of a time ago as 1752, that's less than 300 years ago, they still celebrated the New Year in March in the UK. You know what I'm saying? In Britain.
In America too.
Right. It's like, it says that?
Yeah, it says and the American colonies.
Oh, Slovakia and their America. So yeah, so right, Slovakia, bro. So right here in America and in Britain,
You know that?
they didn't celebrate January 1st as the New Year until 1752. They were still celebrating the New Year in March. So all your original colonies, Jamestown, you know what I'm saying? All the 13 original colonies, New York down to Virginia, you know what I'm saying? The Carolinas, still celebrating it in March. Why? Because March is when that's the vernal equinox, right? That's when spring comes. In spring, what does it mean? What does it mean for things to spring?
To become new. To spring
Become
forth
new.
and be new.
Spring
To
forth.
be new.
That's what it means. You understand? That's why it's a new year, because things spring forth. That's the real new year.
Wow.
The real new year is about new life. You know what I'm saying? You don't, if somebody's dying, that's not a new life. New life is when someone is born. You understand? So that's the origin of that trash. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get a couple more scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Give me Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 6.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
For whom the Lord loveth, what does it mean to chasten? Yeah.
To discipline.
It means to discipline. Or correct. Read it from the top.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
Every son whom he receiveth, man. Let's not forget our name. Yahshua means Prince of the Power. Read on.
Verse 7. If ye endure chastening.
If ye endure chastening, you take that correction. Read on.
God dealeth with you as with sons.
Right. That's how you get the Lord to deal with you. That's how you get the Most High to know you. When you endure chastening. And chastening is, you better not eat that pork. If you eat that pork, it's a problem. You endure the chastisement of, I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm only allowed to do this. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means to endure chastening. Read on.
For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Yeah, that means you are, let's see, what's that word? What's that word when you got a son and you technically abandon your son? I don't know why it's missing me right now. What's the word when you just like, okay, if you got a son, and let's say your son is like, he's doing something you're not supposed to do.
He's wayward.
No, good night. Pause on the tip of my tongue.
Prodigal. Not the prodigal.
That's the word. The water, brother. Disown. Good night.
Disown.
Disown. The water.
Disown.
Right, you're disowned, man. That's what it means when it says you're bastards and not sons. If you don't endure chastisement, if you looking at that pork chop and you getting chastised, don't you eat it? Don't you eat that damn And you say, and you endure it, and like, okay, no, yes, sir, I won't eat it. Yes, sir. Count out of one count. I gotta eat the pork chop, and you munch it down. Once you do that, read that part again. But if you do it without chastisement,
but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards.
You're a bastard, and not a son. Now you've been disowned. You understand? All right, man. You're not a son no more. You chose to not be a son. Read on.
Verse 9.
Now this is important to understand the Most High, man. When you, hopefully, you didn't go out and toast, you know what I'm saying, at 11:59. But if you did, you can repent. You can repent and never, ever, ever, never do it again. And you know what I'm saying? You can come up in here, you know what I'm saying? If you see us on the street, get you a flyer, go to I.S.U.P.K.com. You know what I'm saying? Watch our classes on YouTube, Facebook, you know what I'm saying? Change your life, repent, and come up in here, man, and become a true, you know what I'm saying, child of the Most High. And learn how to be what you were called to be. You understand? Read that, verse 9.
Verse 9.
This is important to understand the relationship that we have with the Most High. Just how these are laws that we're given, we've been reading about the whole class, we've been reading the history. We read that so we can understand it's against our laws, because our laws tell us what? Not to follow other gods, not to follow heathen customs. Our laws are our culture. And we're supposed to keep our culture. King David loved his culture. You understand? It's how he prevented himself from doing evil things of other nations, by following his culture. Read that.
Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us.
Furthermore, he's explaining it further, right? Where we at?
We're in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 9.
Who's talking here?
This is Paul, right?
I believe it's Paul. I want to say it's Paul right here. If it's not Paul, I'm saying Salakia. I'm saying if you know in the chat, let me know. But I do believe this is Paul.
Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence.
What does that mean? Yeah,
that their fathers disciplined them and they respected their father.
Exactly. Most High in Christ. Get that brother in. Because it's trying to break it down to you. You know, you try to break it down to somebody and give them an example that's nearer to them, they should understand. It's like, furthermore, listen, we've had fathers of the flesh, man. We've had earthly fathers. Like the fathers that, you know what I'm saying, that raised us. Our biological fathers. They corrected us and we did what? We gave them reverence. You know what I'm saying? We grew up and we loved our fathers. We respected their fathers. I love my father to this day. I still don't get it twisted because I talk about certain things.
Right.
I love my father. You know what I'm saying? He raised me. He was there when other brothers' fathers weren't there.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And I was proud to be his son. Still am in certain ways. You understand? We gave them reverence, right? Read on.
Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live?
Like if we can give reverence to our earthly fathers, if we can give reverence to them for them correcting us, shouldn't we give more reverence to the Father of spirits, to the Father of life, of all things, and live? You can have been respectful to your father. There are crackheads right now who are respectful to their fathers. There are drug dealers who are respectful to their fathers. You understand? There's brothers who deal with whores who are respectful to their fathers. There's sisters who are prostitutes right now who are respectful to their fathers. Strippers who are respectful to their fathers. They get on the phone and say, yes, sir. No, sir. You have that. But guess what? But that's not going to make you live. Reverencing your earthly father is not what's going to make you live. It's not going to give you the breath of life, what the Bible calls it. You have to give that reverence to the Most High. You understand? Keep reading.
Most High crack.
Keep reading.
Verse 10. For verily, for they verily, for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness.
But they barely for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure. Your father chastened you because he didn't like the way you did this. He told you to clean the dishes and you didn't clean the dishes. You know what I'm saying? He told you to clean your room and you didn't clean your room fast enough. He said be home by 8:30 and you got home at 9:20. You know what I'm saying? He chastened you after his own pleasure, after something after a rule that he made. You know what I'm saying? Read from that part where it's his own pleasure.
For verily, for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit.
Read on.
That we might be partakers of his holiness.
Most High is chastising you not because you didn't wash the dishes. He's not chastising you so you can be a little more, responsible and clean. And he's chastising you so that way you can be a partaker in his holiness. So you can be set apart.
That's love.
He's telling Most High in Christ, that's love. He's telling you don't eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Don't be a whoremonger. Don't be a whore. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't smoke weed. Don't go here. Don't do this. Don't follow the ways of the heathen. Don't celebrate New Year's. Don't celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Why? So you can be a partaker in his holiness. The same way he's set apart and different, you can be set apart and different. You can be his representative here on earth. You can be, that thing that the other nations look at and say, what's the other verse say? You know what I'm saying? Like a wise, understanding people. They have God so nigh unto them. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's another scripture that describes and says you shall be as gods. Not saying that you're going to be God. That's not what it's saying. It's saying that our power is going to allow us to shine brighter than everybody else. We're set up to be a holy people. Let's close out on that one, man. It's a lot.
Why Deuteronomy 7 or the 82nd Psalm?
Which one?
Deuteronomy 7:6 or 82nd Psalm?
Well, 76. What's the 87?
So that's what he said, ye are God.
No, I want 76.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
This is why it's important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians not to indulge in or celebrate or be a part of any holiday, any celebration that has nothing to do with God, man. And when I say celebration, I'm not saying you can't go to a barbecue, right? But a barbecue is not worshiping gods. But a barbecue on July 4th is worshiping gods. A barbecue on December 31st is worshiping gods. A barbecue on December 25th. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have the spirit of discernment. You got to know what you're dealing with, right?
God,
but the point I'm making is this. You know what I'm saying? If you're dealing with anything that's related to other gods, you're breaking the laws of God. This fake New Year's that took place a couple of hours ago, you know what I'm saying, last night, that is against God. That is one of the evil ways that King David was trying to stay away from. You understand? Salakia. Oh, I didn't see your question before, brother. Salakia for that. Can you disown your child if they say they are gay? No sweat. I believe that would have to be related to their age. Of course, you do realize that you cannot, you know what I'm saying, not take care of your child if their age mandates that you take care of them. But whether or not you can tell your child that they're going to live a certain lifestyle, they can't be in your home if they're past a certain age, I do believe you can do that. But again, don't take my word for it.
seek counsel.
Seek counsel, definitely. The water, brother, that's a fact. Seek counsel, definitely. But as far as the protocol on it, like the law on it, I'll get that for you. But if a brother's in that situation, my first answer would be to seek counsel. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get the biblical answer for you as soon as I can. The water for that question.
That's a good question.
It is a good question. The water. You know what I'm saying? But read what you got from the top.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power.
Holy means separate. Thou art a separate, a set apart people. Different. Read on.
The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people.
You've been chosen to be a special people. You've been chosen to be the people that when everyone else is celebrating, and they Happy New Year, like my brother Officer I.S.U.P.K said. Happy New Year. That's you. Merry Christmas. That's you. Happy holidays, and you just keep on pushing. You've been called to be those people. You've been called to be the people that everybody's like, oh, who are they? You know what I'm saying? Read on.
A special people unto himself. Well, Salakia, the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth.
You've been called to be above all the people on the face of the earth. The entire face of the earth celebrated New Year's last night. The entire face of the earth, December 31st, for the most part, because most of the earth is Christian, they celebrated that and said, oh, this is a new year, a new me, New Year's resolution. Most of the earth celebrates Christmas. I'm saying, I done already told y'all the stories, and many of my brothers told you stories too. I knew Muslims who celebrated Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
I did. When I was a Muslim, I did.
Right. The brother said when he was dabbling in that lifestyle of being a Muslim, he celebrated Christmas. You know what I'm saying? There are Buddhists right now, people who say they believe in Buddhism and they celebrated Christmas. And they were down in Times Square watching the ball drop. You know what I'm saying? Any religion you can think of, man. Oh, and there was fake Israelites who did it too. Don't get it twisted. We ain't gonna get into that because classes is over. There was fake Israelites with a drink in their hand. Might have been some eggnog. I don't know what it was, but they had something in their hand when the ball dropped, and they said Happy New Year. You understand? But the scripture said that we're supposed to be above all people on the face of the earth, a holy people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're supposed to do. And in order to do that, we got to change our ways. We got to repent. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to these laws, statutes, and commandments to get back to our culture. Get back to our culture, being who we are. You know what I'm saying? That we got to get back to being Israelites. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to that. And if we do that, we'll realize that none of these things have anything to do with us, and we'll just ignore them and go on about our lives. You know what I'm saying? And with that, we're going to close out the class. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see y'all again Friday. You know what I'm saying? For the La Shalom Dash class. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to put that. Shalom.
Shalom. That's a good class, bro.
The what?
I learned a lot from that class. No appreciation, man. You know, like that verse.